I'm going to talk about something that I chose to do here on YouTube instead of Instagram because I feel like a lot of people get triggered on Instagram on this topic, which is carbohydrates. I made a whole reel and I was going to post it, and then I just really felt in my spirit, this isn't the right place to do this. I don't want to trigger people. So this is your trigger warning. If you have a history of binging or food addiction, this message that I'm going to share might challenge your understanding of foods and make you think outside the box, which I hope it does in a good way. I have been eating sourdough bread every single day for the past 2+ months, and I have continued to lose weight, and I feel really good, and I've continued to burn fat. So I've tested this with my glucose, my lumen. Sorry if I'm moving around a lot. It's just the way I am today. So I test with my lumen, which tests carbon dioxide in the breath, and so this indicates how much fat burning we're doing versus carbohydrate burning or glucose burning. And I am always waking up in complete fat burn. I'm still fat burning primarily after meals, even after sourdough bread. And I've tested this with sourdough bread from regular bread flour and then also einkorn flour, which is what I only consume now. Einkorn is just less processed. It doesn't have glyphosate, so that's a huge bonus. The point that I want to make is that carbohydrates, it frustrates me that this community, the ketogenic and carnivore community, a lot of people here, I have heard them refer to carbohydrates as hot garbage. I have heard them make black and white statements like carbs make you fat. I've heard them say carbohydrates spike your blood sugar. And none of those statements are always true. They can be true, but they're not always true. So I can consume up to 150 carbohydrates. I don't think I've ever gone above that. But coming from my homemade einkorn sourdough bread, apples, mandarin oranges, low carb vegetables like delicata squash, berries, watermelon. Those are like my only carbs. But my blood sugar is steady Freddy. And this has not always been the case. For a long time, I was sensitive to protein. Protein was spiking my blood sugar. I definitely couldn't get into carbs, and they would spike my blood sugar. But now I am in such a different place in terms of insulin sensitivity, my hormones, my activity levels, the amount of muscle mass on my body, even my sleep is different. And all of these things play a role in how carbohydrates affect us. And so I just wanted to share that I am stronger than I've ever been, ever. I am to a point of leanness that I'm pretty happy with. I gave birth 4 months ago, and I feel really good about where I'm at, how my clothes are fitting. I opened up, a bin of shorts that I haven't worn in years, like since before the first time we got pregnant. And some of these shorts are falling off of me. And I was not trying to get to that point. I've just been listening to my body, working out consistently, prioritizing my sleep, and I'm really happy with that. I don't think it's right to lock yourself into the box of carbs will always make me fat, so I can never eat carbs, because it's just not true. Now, context is key. If you're insulin resistant, it's a really good tool to go low or zero carb. If you have food addiction, carbohydrates are hyperpalatable. Carbohydrates can complicate things, but it doesn't mean they're the enemy. And Tyler and I were just talking about the fact that carbs, we're not offended by carbohydrates or sugar, but we are offended by seed oils. Seed oils are poison. They were put into our food to make us sick. And as a cheap way to substitute real food, and it's just chemicals. And that offends us to some degree. Not that we're living in offense, but it's those are our non-negotiable. We do not touch seed oils, but we're not afraid of sugar. Now, we don't have processed sugar in our house. We definitely don't have white sugar in our pantry, and I don't ever see myself cooking with it, baking with it, or anything like that. But I am at a place in life where fruit works really well for me. And there was a long season where I never ever thought I would reintroduce it. And what's even more, interesting is that I have eaten sourdough bread every single day. Like, when I first started introducing bread, I had it as a special treat on a very heavy lifting day, and I did well with it. And then I just, a couple months ago, was like, I really feel like, I could do this every day, and I'm not overdoing it because I feel so healthy with my appetite towards it. Like, I enjoy it, but I don't crave it, and it's easy for me to put it down. I'm not like, ooh, I need another piece or anything like that. I'm not living for the bread. I'm not like waking up and thinking about bread. It doesn't have any chains on me. I'm not in bondage to carbohydrates. And I honestly think that it's been helping me to recover. And it's just been working out really well. No digestive issues, no skin issues, no bloating. And like I said, I've been continuing to burn fat and gain muscle. So that's my message. I just like to be transparent about what I do here. I am still an animal-based gal, through and through. But now I do include other foods, and I'm proud to do so. I'm happy to do so, because when you heal, you should be able to do that. I am not looking down on people. I've said this in various ways in various places, but I'll always say it when I talk about carbs. I never am looking down on people who choose the sobriety lifestyle of never consuming carbohydrates. I highly respect you. Kudos to you. I was addicted to food. I struggled with binge eating for a very long season. God delivered me from that. The carnivore lifestyle definitely helped me to heal. But God is a healer, meat is a medicine, and God redeemed me from that. He definitely saved me from that. And so I have zero food addiction, and I have zero impulses to binge, even on things like homemade einkorn sourdough bread. This morning I made a cinnamon loaf, and that is something that, like, I can't believe it has no hold on me. I had one piece and it was amazing, and then I was done. And I left some crust on the plate because I was done. This might not resonate with a lot of people, but I know it will resonate with a lot of people as well. There is freedom, and that is because of Jesus. And carbohydrates are not always the enemy. And so things can change. Things can definitely change. So if you feel like you've locked yourself into a box, or you are labeling yourself, or you feel like you're identifying with zero carb lifestyle, I don't think that's healthy. I don't think you should make it your identity. I don't think, if you're making something your identity, that's a form of worship, and that is, that's an idol. That's idolatry, which is a sin. I would only identify with who Christ says you are, who you are in Christ, and be curious about nutrition. And use your knowledge, use your critical thinking skills. Carbohydrates are not always appropriate, and I think it's a good thing for anyone to know that they're not addicted to them, because they are very hyperpalatable, but they're not the enemy. So that's where I'm at. And if you guys want more videos on this stuff, like what I eat in a day, or how to incorporate carbohydrates, I don't know how interested you guys are, because I know that most of you are using carnivore for healing, and I think that's the way to go if you're healing. But just know that on the other side of healing, there is more freedom, and it doesn't have to be a one-size-fits-all approach forever.